Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, as always, a couple of reminders. I'm not your financial advisor, and we never provide investment advice on the channel. So with that being said, if you're new, thanks for joining us. Not sure where you came from, whether it was from a YouTube related video, or somebody showed the channel or the series to you, but we're glad that you're here. And if you're somebody that's joined us somewhere along the way, or you've been with us from the beginning, again, thank you so much for continuing to not only support the channel, but the series as well. Quick reminder to everybody, if you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. We've got a lot of people, according to the analytics, that do watch the series and the channel, but are not yet subscribed, so please consider doing so. We're going to go ahead and take a look, at some of the tabs up here. For the new guys, make sure that you go ahead and check out day one of the series. It'll kind of give you the introductions and kind of in the flow, things, showing you how things are going to go ahead and move along, and throughout the video content. So we're going to take a look at Dr. AI. This is not one that I talked about, here on the channel. This is one that I discovered last night, obviously using Dexscreener, as the search tool to go ahead and discover, new projects, as we constantly, discuss here here in the series. With Dr. AI, when did I find this one? So according to the alerts here, the posted market cap that I have at the time that I set the alert was at 276K, and you can see both of these did trigger not only when it went under 200K, but also when it went over 320K. If we also head over to the Telegram channel, Crimson's Calls, you can see that I made a post, for this one at 330K. So obviously I made the discovery, on Dexscreener at 276, when I made the alert, and then I posted it here to the main channel at 330K after taking a look around, the channel and, kind of figuring out, what is Dr. AI. You can see according to this description, particularly here, apparently you upload any X-ray, CT scan, or MRI, and the utility will provide you with a detailed medical report along with recommendations. So that it was also pretty interesting, to me, in terms of why I went ahead and decided to post this here on the main channel. I also left a post here, as well. This takes you straight to how the utility works, so that's always relevant, in terms of trying to help the community understand exactly what this is. So with that being said, you can see the achievement badge here that it did touch over 768, K. I think this one at the all-time high, it did go to like 800 before it completely dumped. So, because I did state that this dumped to 65K, and now it's, creeping up, on 300K from the floor. So if we go back here and take a look, at this one, you can see that this essentially, if we move the chart over, you can see this is the peak, and then it completely dumped. Now, the reason for this, and I didn't understand it right away, was because I didn't know the origins, of this particular token. This actually originated, from Pump Fund. And so as we know, when stuff originates, from Pump Fund, you're talking about they're starting at a 5K market cap. All right. Now, obviously with Pump Fund, there's a ton of volatility, and most tokens coming out of Pump Fund don't even, they don't stay when they go past the bonding curve. So when they actually hit radium, a lot of times, a lot of these tokens will go ahead and dump. Okay, because people got in so early. So, I mean, they're up so much, especially if you got in at the floor anywhere around, 15, 20K, even below that, you're up so much, that you're going to go ahead and you want to offload so you can take profits. So, and I suspect that's essentially what happened here. I mean, if you got anybody that went in, they got in, around 10, 20K, even 30K, and they were able to, see essentially, over 900K, on this one before it dumped. That's the reason why this dumped. And so I was continuing to watch this one, and I wasn't sure if it was going to revive itself. I mean, there were issues in terms of management, in terms of moderation and so forth. There was spam entering the chat. There was a lot of FUD, as well. And it slowly started to go and creep back up. And then you can see, it started to retrace again, and then it started to go ahead and make another push. Now, the one thing for me, because I did take an entry in this one, is that the utility, not only is the utility very useful, if you check out their website, and it actually works, it's not even token gated, so it's free. So they didn't really, the owner of the project didn't really understand, why people were selling this off. But like I said, they started out in pump fun, and anybody that got in super early, I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, people were going to go ahead and dump. Now the reason why I think you're still seeing the push here, and I took a couple of screenshots, on this one, is because, like I said, the utility is really good, and it's not token gated, so it's a free, and it's in the medical sector. So the team behind it seems to be doing a lot in terms of marketing. You're talking about a token that's not even a day old. And they've got a pretty good, looking chart outside of the dump. Now we can see here with this one, this was the bottom, so I took the screenshot, yesterday, and you can see where we're still starting to make that push, moving back upwards, right? And then here you can see this was taken today, not that, I don't know, maybe within the last half hour before I started, making this video, and you can see that they touched really over here just around 800K. So I think this is showing 807. And I think they've done because I mean, obviously the chart's updated, since then. If we go back over here, I think this was around, about 830K. So either way, for me on this one, I think this one looks pretty decent. I wanted to go ahead and at least, put this one on your radar during the video. Now, this is also why I tell you guys, make sure that if you're not subscribed, to the Crimson's Calls Telegram channel, this is the reason why it makes sense to go ahead and subscribe, because there's going to be stuff that I may go ahead and post over there that you're not going to see until you watch the video. And so you're talking about hours, that are lost in between the time that I upload a video as opposed to when I post it, on Telegram. So you missed out, if anybody's interested in this particular token, you would have missed out on the call on Telegram. And obviously, at the time, it was a 2x from the time of the call, and then it completely dumped, but there were people that still got back in, at that 65K, 70K level. And who knows if they're still holding tokens. But either way, let's say that you did get in at that point, somewhere down here. You see what's happened, since that original dump, since these levels. And obviously it's touched around here. And here we're still talking, this is 900K right here. So, and then it retraced. So you still, I believe, still have people that, got in earlier levels, and they're still offloading tokens, they're still taking profits. And the other thing you have to consider, one, I think today's Saturday, right? So we got weekend volume, which is typically lower. You do have some exceptions, so this could be one of them. And I tend to see, lower volume in terms of, what a lot of these tokens, from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes even into Monday. However, as I've said before, there are outliers, so this, like I said, could be one of them, where I think that because of the usefulness of the utility and what the team is doing, they just released a roadmap. They're also looking for T1 and T2 centralized exchanges, as well. So there's a lot that's going on with this one in just the first 24 hours that I think has led to the buy pressure that you've seen. Now, the sell pressure can only be explained by the fact that, one, it started out in pump fun, and two, there was a big dump and people did go ahead and buy in at those levels. I think I even saw a buy yesterday of almost 40 sold. So yeah, I mean, there are people that are definitely looking at this one. And I still think there's a lot of people that don't know about this particular token. So I think it's still flying under the radar. But I think with some additional exposure, there is potential for this one, I think, to continue to move. So again, I know that's a long, explanation and, context and details associated with this, as far as how we're starting out today's video. But I wanted to put this one on your radar because I think this one does have some potential to continue to move. Now, again, there are no guarantees as far as, what may happen here in regards to this one. But I do think that if Chill Guy, a meme that started out on TikTok, can touch 100 million, on its market cap, I certainly believe that something that has this kind of utility and it is free, it does have, there are many people that have gone ahead and posted in the chat in regards to, uploading an image, and seeing the reports, coming from this utility, that I think this one does have some potential to go ahead and move. So with that being said, that's going to be, everything I'm going to tell you in regards to Dr. AI. All right, so we're going to close this out. And then I also wanted to mention the miner meme. This one, even though we're not seeing any kind of activity here on the 5-minute, the original alert for this one was at 1:23. Created an updated alert at 4:21, as well. So, but this one did touch over 4 million. So we're talking the original posted market cap for this was 123K, created 11 days ago, and at the peak, it touched over 4 million. So again, this just highlights another example of what is being accomplished and achieved here in the series, utilizing Dexscreener to go ahead and use the filters, find stuff early, and see if see what we can go ahead and find that may have potential to move. This one obviously is a great example of that, but there have been, as I mentioned yesterday, multiple examples of tokens just like this one. And again, that pump can be a 2x, it could be a 5x, it could be a 10x or more. In this case, this obviously did better than a 10x for anybody that decided to copy this alert or take an entry. So with that being said, we're going to close out Miner Meme. This one on ZKGPT, we talked about this one a lot. We found this one in these areas right here, somewhere around the 20th of December. Looking at the alerts here, we can see the original alert was created 24 days ago at 326K here in the notes. We posted that, original market cap found. So, but this one, obviously it touched, over 4 million, so far in this one. So if anybody, and I had my concerns, in regards to where this was found originally because of what the candle looked like on the chart. Now, we also know, looking at this one, what did it do from the time that we discovered it? It continued to go ahead and, fairly retrace, and then here you're kind of sitting in a sideways kind of pattern before it decided to go ahead and take off. And then, even with this large candle here, this large buy candle or green candle here on the chart, there was some retracement. We can see that here, and then we get more buy pressure retracement. But what has it done? It's kind of stayed in this pattern, and it still continued to move up. Now, obviously, we've got some retracement here, 50-50. It could go ahead and retrace some more, or it could go for another leg up. But either way, this one has touched over 4 million. Do I think it's done? I don't think it's done. Again, that's not a guarantee that it's going to go ahead and head back up, but at the end of the day, I think the chart is, definitely looking pretty healthy in terms of the overall trajectory. We're getting a balance, of buys and sells, on the chart. And I think that as long as there continues to be engagement, from the community, and that the team continues to push this one, I think this certainly has potential to continue to move forward in terms of its trajectory. So with that being said, just wanted to go ahead and put that one back on your radar in regards to where we found it and where it is right now. With this one, we talked about Archie AI, not that long ago. Wanted to go ahead and put this one back on your radar just because when you look at the original alert for this one, it was found at 267K. And you can see, at the peak, we're talking about 1.3 million, so again, another one, great example, of finding something, early, utilizing Dexscreener and seeing the overall movement, on the chart. So yeah, even though they've retraced, at this point, and there's not a lot going on in terms of the 5 minute, 1 hour, but you don't have a massive dump here. Anytime you're going to go and get a peak, as I've said before, multiple times in the series, you're going to get sells, anytime you see a token hit a peak, so a lot of people go ahead and ask, like, when do I go ahead and sell? I can tell you this: anytime you see a peak on a chart, and I've mentioned this several times before, when you see a peak on a chart, guaranteed there are going to be people that are going to sell. So you either choose to go ahead and sell off your initials. You can go ahead. Some people have a strategy where they'll go ahead and sell off initials, plus 10 or 20%, and then if they think it's going to continue to go ahead and move, they'll keep that moon bag and they'll just ride it out, basically having mitigated their complete all the risk at that point, because when you've removed your initials, plus some profit, at that point you still have tokens left, but it's not really your money at that point that you've spent, so at that point, if it continues to go ahead and ride up, everything else is just kind of cake from there. So that's just one, a couple of different things to consider, when you're considering, how or when do you decide to go ahead and sell. So, all right. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out Archie AI. That's going to go ahead and do it in terms of review. So we are going to go ahead and move into discovery. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'll come back right back, and we'll finish out the discovery portion of the video. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and go into discovery. And so we can see we've got a bunch of stuff here. As always, I don't need all this information, so we're going to go straight to our year. And we're going to remove price, transactions, volume, makers. We're going to leave all the time slots here. We're going to remove liquidity. and apply. So this is what I tend to like to see, but you guys may have a different opinion on that. We're going to go straight into filters here, and we're going to look at 3 chains, Solana, Ethereum, and Base. All right, so we're going to click save. We don't have to go and do anything over here in regards to the dexes, because when you select multiple chains, it doesn't give you an option to go and select the dexes anyway. So liquidity, as always, if you're new, we keep liquidity at 1,000. Market cap, we're going to go straight to 50K. Since we're working with multiple chains, we're not going to go too far out on the market cap, so we're going to go ahead and go to 100K. We'll see, how many tokens we get. We're going to go ahead and start out with some real fresh stuff. So we're going to go 1 hour to 20 hours. All right. Now, understand, as always, I do, leave this disclaimer out there. Whenever we go with the really, really fresh stuff, we're bound to run into more scams, when we're looking at stuff that's really, really brand new. All right. So just be aware of that. On the 24-hour change, we're going to go with a minimum value of 10%, and we're going to click apply. So let's see what we got here. We got 28 tokens. All right. So, and again, we didn't go too far out on the market cap, and that's intentional because, again, we're working with multiple chains. We're going to click on the 24-hour here because we want to see the largest gains in that window first. And as always, just staying consistent with what I do. With these boxes that have a box and a question mark, if we open them up, typically they're going to be scams. So just be aware of that. So we might see stuff that's, freezable. We might see, no socials. We're probably going to see no socials. So all these things are indicative of a scam. Okay. Buy transactions, when they look like, it's just nothing but buys and hardly any sells, that's obviously indicative of a scam as well. So we can see that the pairs was created 11 hours ago. Chart, created 11 hours ago is just not going to look like this, and we get no socials, no activity on the 5 minute, the 1 hour. So we know that this is a scam. Tokens freezable. We don't have to even look any further. Anytime you see that, that means, I tend to avoid those, and that to me is a red flag. So that's the reason why they flag it. All right. And here you get no socials, no buying activity on the 5 minute, 1 hour, 6 hour. Definitely a scam. This has been up for 20 hours. So anytime you got something that's been up for 20 hours and then you got no activity here, you can already know right away it's going to be a scam. So, all right. And then this one again, freezable. So we don't worry about it. So, all right. So for anybody that's new, anybody that's just kind of, starting to join us, here in the series, this is something I go ahead and talk about because it's also part of educating you in terms of being able to do quick scans to be able to tell what's a scam and what isn't, so that you don't waste your time, delving into tokens that essentially you're not going to engage with anyway. All right. And since there are so many tokens to engage with in regards to Dexscreener, we use the filters to filter out the noise. We use the filters to go ahead and target the stuff that we want to target according to whatever parameters we set, in these filters, just like I did here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at the stuff that we know doesn't have, these boxes, the question marks, and we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and start opening some up. All right, what did I do? I did something different. Okay, Pedo Bear, I'm not going to touch that one. Ski Mask Puppy, let's go ahead and let's work with that. All right, this one, Fleabone, maybe, I guess. All right, and let's see here. No, we won't worry about that one. Hello World, sure, chill fat guy. Okay, Black Zerebro. Zerebro, this is one that I've seen a few different tokens on, so I don't really know what it is as far as like any kind of meta, but I have seen it. All right, okay, so there we go. So we've got, I don't know, looks like maybe about 8 tokens open. So this is Ski Mask Puppy, so we're going to go ahead and do some quick scans, just looking at the charts and seeing if this is going to be something we want to, proceed into the channel to explore any further. So we can see the chart looks okay. We got a telegram. All right. And here, this one, not really crazy about the chart, honestly. So I think I'm going to leave this one alone. Looks it's not terrible. Honestly, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and let's keep it up. Let me see here. I'm going to go out a little bit further on the 1 minute. So sometimes when you see charts like this, okay, so this to me is probably a MEV bot. I'm not going to go and explain a MEV bot, but whenever you see this, essentially it's just like a spike of a buy, to sandwich somebody into a position that's, not favorable to them, but it's favorable to the MEV. And then it just kind of flattens out your chart. So it makes it kind of hard to really see what's going on in the chart unless you just kind of zoom in a bit. And even now, that's still kind of hard to see, but we can see that we're still getting buys and sells, right? So I'll tell you what, we'll keep it. And since they do have a Telegram, and then Nautilus AI, I don't really know what that is, but the chart doesn't look terrible, so we'll keep it. All right, and then this one, Fleabo. I mean, we got some sell pressure here, buy pressure returns, and then more sell pressure. So, but even with this right here on the sell, we can see that it looks like there was a sell here, and they bought it up. Okay, so we'll keep it because they do have a Telegram. Hello World, this one looks like it's just going down, 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 so no to that one. This one, Chill Fat Guy. The Chill Guy meta is still kind of there. We got all kinds of derivatives, coming from that one. But I haven't seen anything run nearly as well or as hard as the original, Chill Guy, even though they've got a lot of stuff going on here. They've got a boost going, they got ads going. They're really trying to go ahead and push this one. Considering that, I'll tell you what, I'll take a look at it. You'll keep it open, even though this is in more of a downtrend. And then this one is the Black Cerebro. Okay, so this one, it is, I mean, it's a chart that's got a lot of sell pressure on it, if you ask me, especially when you take a look at this, this right here. And I get it, it's a peak and there's going to be sell pressure, but man, just a lot of sells going on in this one. But the chart doesn't look, terrible. But I'll tell you what, we'll keep it because we do get a Telegram here. And then try on, this is Trump Champio, but nothing going on here in the 5-minute and very little here going on here in the 1 hour. So we're not gonna touch this one either. Okay, so we're gonna come back out here and we're gonna go back to our filters. We want to get some more tokens to look at, so we'll keep everything else the same. We're going to go to 21 hours to 40 hours, and let's see what we get. All right, so let's go ahead. We got this good. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's take a look at Bernie and Clankless. I don't know what that is. All right, so we got these three over here. Okay, and let's see here. This one looks like it might be the start of an uptrend. We get a Telegram. Let's keep it. This one, Bernie. Okay, this is obviously a politically oriented token, but we get no activity here on the 5-minute and the 1 hour. So we're not going to go ahead and touch this one. And then Clankless. We got no activity here on the 5 minutes, so we're not going to keep that one either. All right, let's go back here, and then we're going to go a little bit further out. And this is what you do, guys. When you go ahead and you put in parameters, and you're still not really getting what you want, you keep going back in and you keep adjusting the filters, because again, that's how this works. We got to go ahead and go basically on a treasure hunt, looking for tokens, that are within the Dexscreener platform. And Dexscreener covers a ton of tokens across all the chains. So, all right, let's see here. Large dog model. I saw this one yesterday. And we're going to look at, this is pooping, no. All right, so let's see what large dog model is, or large dog model. This one, we get a Telegram, so I'll tell you what, we'll keep it. All right, so I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and let's start checking out some of these channels and see what we see. All right, so we're not gonna go ahead and do anything with, well, all right, so here we are. And then when I finish this one, we're gonna go straight into looking at the Dr. AI channel as well, just so I can kind of show you what's going on there. Okay, so let's see here. We get just over 280 members here in their channel. We got evidence of rating. Last buy came in at 1243. It's 1244 on my clock. They got listed on Dex Tools. Okay, 50x boost. All right, so looks like they're doing some things to go ahead and try to get some exposure for this one. And you can see, I mean, I don't have to spend a lot of time in the channel to go ahead and figure out, whether I want to, explore it a little bit further. And sometimes that just simply means, we're going to go ahead and set some alerts. Other times it means it may be an entry, but again, this depends on, what I see. So we can see we've got the boost here. We can see they've also paid for ads, as well. And we can also see evidence of a volume bot. You guys know how I feel about that. It's fake volume, but again, people like to still see volume, so that's the reason why they go ahead and they do it and use those volume bots. So for Ski Puppy, this one's at a higher peak on the chart, so what we'll do, we'll set an under alert. I don't really see the purpose in sending it over just because of where the candle is. So the under here, and we're looking at 97K. Let's take a look at the tab here if it says the same. Yep, so 97K. So we're going to go ahead and set the I posted market cap, and let's go ahead and let's move this one, you know, to a 60K area. So not a large deviation from the current market cap, but I personally think this one will come down a bit. Okay, so we're gonna close that one out, and then for this one, let's see what they got going on in the channel. Okay, so I don't know if this is some kind of Japanese meme or something, you know, since it's Maiko AI. All right, so we got a message here. All right, and let's see here. So yeah, I'm not familiar, you know, with Maiko. Like I said, it might be a Japanese theme or meme. Okay, but I don't see. Okay, so they are trending. Okay, so they got sold trending here. Always go ahead and click on this link, you know, just to see if you can actually see the token, you know, here in the leaderboard. Okay, so we're looking for Maiko, and I don't see her. Okay, so I don't see Maiko, you know, in this one. So hard for me to go ahead and actually believe that they're still trending. Now this is a little over an hour ago, you know, so they may have dropped off, you know, from the leaderboard here because we're not seeing it, you know, we didn't see it there in the leaderboard. So let's go back up here. Let's see what else is going on. All right, so yeah, I mean, it looks okay, but let's see here. I'm going to close this out, and so yeah, so the soul trending is done. They did trend, you know, which I think is positive that they did invest some money to go ahead and at least get soul trending, you know, but that ran out. So what we're seeing here, because this is obviously a lower low, you know, than over here, is that there's nothing else currently going on to push the token, you know, and I think if we go back, I don't remember if I saw evidence of rating in this one. I didn't see evidence. I don't think I saw evidence of rating, you know, so there's no evidence of rating, you know, in this one. Okay, so there's nothing going on in terms of trying to go ahead and move this particular token. So we can see minuses, you know, here on the 5 minute. This was on the 1 hour, but now it's kind of bumped up to the 6% here. So I am skeptical that this is going to move up at all. So you know, let's just go ahead and set the alert, but we're only sitting at 59K, and I think this is probably going to go ahead and continue to retrace, but we'll set the alert just to go ahead and make my point. We'll go here under, and then I said 59K, and so we'll set this at 40K. All right, so there we go. So we're going to close this one out. So I don't really have a lot of faith in this one, but again, the whole purpose of the alerts is so that the alerts can go ahead and let us know, give us some kind of clue into our indicator into, you know, what's going on, you know, with a particular token or chart. Okay, so we can see with Nodlix over here. Let's go ahead and let's check out the channel, see what they got going on. So this is an AI token apparently. We're going to go, and I said I was going to go into Dr. AI's chat, so we'll do that. Let me just remember to go ahead and do that after this one. Okay, so here we are. We're in the chat. I don't see anything right away in regards to rating, but we do see we got ETH trending well. Again, a quick reminder, make sure you go ahead and click on the link just to make sure that they are actually on the leaderboard. Okay, so we're looking for Nodlix, and let's see here. So Nodlix is number 2 on the leaderboard. So, okay, so we now know that yes, they're still currently trending, and they're trending number 2. So that's good in terms of seeing additional exposure, you know, for this particular token. And let's see here, let's keep going up, but no rating, which is fine. Okay, we don't always have to see rating, but it's always helpful to at least get the community involved, in my personal opinion. We got a streaming review. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Something going on here in regards to X. We got a bot you can access, you know, so there's a utility here. It's a comprehensive, you know, platform designed to support the development, deployment, and management of AI applications. Okay, we got a video, you know, as well. Trending was purchased, you know, so yeah, I mean, this is all, you know, good stuff in my personal opinion. All right, so we're going to go ahead and head on out. Now, what I wanted to see here is if they had a boost going. They do have a boost going. It's a small one, you know, but again, that in complement, you know, with what they're doing in terms of trending, you know, also translates to what they got going on here on the chart, you know. So for this one, I would go ahead and say it makes sense to set a bottom, you know, under and an over alert, you know, so we'll go and do that. And we're only sitting at 61K market cap, you know, so that's not bad. And this is not a base token, this is an ETH token. So for the under, let's do 61K, and let's go ahead and set it at 50K. All right, so not a large deviation. And then for the over, all right, so we're going to post in on market cap. for the over, let's go ahead and let's set this one at, let's do 80K. All right. So, okay. So let's see. Now I'm curious to see what's going to happen, not only when the boost runs out, but when trending runs out. Because again, both boost and trending, they typically bring, short-term investors, somebody coming in looking for quick flips, 2X and they're out, so I would be curious to see, what this does, when both of those are not a part of what's going on here in Nautilus. Now, we got some tokens where they go ahead and they get trending and they continue to buy trending. They've got the budget for it. They've got the funds to do it, and that continues to help the chart, right? So, but a lot of tokens, they go ahead and it's a one-off, or they'll go ahead and buy it a couple of times and then that's it. So we'll have to see what happens here. Now with Freebone, this one looks like, I think it's retraced a bit, since we looked at it initially. Now we do see a buy that just came in, so we're 57% up, on the 5-minute, which is really good. All right, so we're gonna go into the channel, see what they got going on here. All right, so last buy just came in, 12:51. That's the time I got on my clock. We don't see any pinned messages. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. We'll restart, a Telegram. Sometimes when you come into a channel and you don't see any pinned messages, sometimes it's just a matter of restarting it and then they'll show up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I did restart it and I'm still not seeing anything in regards to pinned messages. So that I don't really care for. I always want to see some pinned messages, it doesn't matter what the token is. I don't care, how good you may think it is. You always want to see some evidence of pinned messages because it's the community, it's the team, it's the owner of the project or the token communicating, with their community. So it's not like I wouldn't, engage with this one at all, but there are literally no pinned messages. So the likelihood of me engaging with it would be way less opposed to another token, where I actually did see some pinned messages, so. But with that being said, we're going to go straight into the Doc AI community chat just because I keep forgetting to go ahead and go into it. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And you can see here, they are trying to go ahead and combat, all the spam, coming in, to their community. This was something that took place, yesterday when this thing dumped, pretty hard. That there was all kinds of spam. They only had, one moderator in. He didn't have admin rights to go ahead and mod anybody else up. The owner was not in the chat. I mean, it was just kind of like a hot mess last night. And so, but you couldn't ignore, at least not for me personally, you couldn't ignore the utility. The utility actually works, like I said before, so they eventually got their act together and, obviously it held up overnight. It did pretty well overnight, so, but they got a lot of, pinned messages here. Already 85,000 views on Twitter, just beginning. The healthcare sector is truly a serious field. They're determined to ride this wave and be the leaders in AI and medicine. They've also got a Telegram bot that they released, yesterday. You can go to the website, as well. So, and they're working on fronts, here. So they've got a boost going, as well. Here they give you some more information in regards to it. No queues, no waiting. You can get assistance instantly without wasting time on scheduling, waiting for your turn at a doctor's office. Some of these, situations require a special approach. They talk about, no more embarrassment or discomfort discussing personal matters with a specialist. It's available 24/7. Like I said, it's not even token gated. It's free. Time and cost efficient. Forget long trips to clinics or costly consultations. You can receive professional assistance quickly, efficiently, and affordably. All right. And so when I say affordably, like I said, it's free right now. So not sure if they're trying to go ahead and do anything different in regards to that, but for right now, like I said, there's no cost. So this is an example, of, what it will tell you. All right. Giving you, some information in regards to, back pain is the prompt that somebody put in here, so just be aware of that. They put out a roadmap, here as well. So you can see this is the roadmap, so there's a lot, I think they've got going on here in regards, to, hold on, let me go ahead. Wasn't sure how to get out of that. Okay. So, but either way, a lot going on here in regards to pinned messages. They're trying to go ahead and, get into an exchange, BitGet, is something they're looking at, as well. So they wanted people to go ahead and engage, with this particular tweet, So yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff going on in regards, to Doc AI, so just putting that on your radar. We're going to go ahead and now that we've finally going ahead and taking a look, at their channel. I'm going to go back over to the next chart that we want to take a look at. So, but Fleabone, not going to go ahead and engage with this one. We're just going to go ahead and close it out. So chill fat guy. So this one, again, I mean, it's a chill guy derivative, but they got a lot of retracement on this one. There is a volume bot, but again, volume bots don't typically bring a lot of volume, to a chart, so, but you still got buys coming in. So let's check out the channel. You see that you got a boost here. They've also paid for ads, so those are good things, to help them get some exposure. But even in spite of that, guess what's going on? They still got a lot of retracement. And I've said this in regards to trending. It brings a lot of short-term, kind of buyers, into your token. And you can see that, as evidenced, by their chart. So let's check out the trending again, just to make sure that they're actually on the leaderboard. They're number 4. So we can see they're okay. Yeah, they're number 4, chill fat guy right there. So yeah, so they're trending. They've got the boosts going. They've got ads going. So yeah, they really are trying to go ahead and push this one, which is positive. Okay, so for this one, and here they got, this one saying scam, scam, scam. Nobody went ahead and removed that. They should probably go ahead and do that. But we'll head back over, and for this one, I am going to set 2 alerts here. We're at 60K. So, and let's see here, 60K. Okay, and so for the over, let's go ahead and let's move this to 80K, because I'd love to see this get out of that danger area. And then for the under, let's set it at 40K. All right. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and close this one out. And for this one, let's see what's going on in the channel. All right, so for this one, I saw some stuff, in the channel that I didn't really care for, that I think would not be suitable to keep as part of the video, so you will recognize a cut in this particular one. So, but I'm not going to go ahead and mess with this one. Like I said, I saw some things in there, just from language and then just imagery that I don't think is appropriate, for this particular upload. So I'm going to go and remove that. And we're not going to go ahead and follow this one. So we're going to close this one out. Okay, so for KK, and hold on guys, let me go ahead and pause this so I can make a note of where that one was in the video. All right guys, so we're moving on to the next token. So that's going to be KK. And so here we are. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the channel. All right, so here we go. And they just entered SPY DeFi trending. That is a positive. We want to go ahead and see. We want to see that. Let's take a look at, let's see here. I'm not really, okay. So I was wondering, I was looking for a portal because I'm like, this is odd. I'm not really seeing a lot of activity. So we're going to go ahead and click to verify. So here we are. All right, so looks like we got some spam, here in the chat. Let's see, and nobody's removing it yet. We've got some trending going on, so let's make sure that we're on the leaderboard. So let's see here. Do we see Keke? And I'm not seeing it. Now, what did they say they were? Number 10. Number 10, could mean if they've been trending for a while and they're dropping, on the leaderboard, they could have fallen off. So let's go back here. Let's see where 10 is. 10's right here, so we don't see them. I don't see them anywhere, on this as I'm looking through. So yeah, so they're no longer trending, and I don't see they still haven't removed, the spam that's here. That's not a good sign. All right. Somebody went ahead and forwarded this to them, so I guess they went ahead and they showed it to their community. All right. But yeah, so that could also indicate, the reason why we saw, or why there was such a big dip, on their chart, so, and even, right now. So remember when I said before that trending tends to bring, a crowd that is short-term. Short-term traders just looking for, quick flips, so for this one, as soon as that trending was over with, you don't get the benefit of that audience anymore. But like I said, that audience is good, I think, for quick pumps, but they can also go ahead and certainly, wreak havoc, on your chart, especially, if they all just start dumping, so, and they've got no boost, no ads, nothing going on here. So this one is one where I think, and like I said, we didn't see anybody decide to remove that spam. So I'm not really seeing anything positive, in regards to this one that would make me want to continue to follow it. So I'm going to close this one out. And then with large dog model, we get no boost, nothing going on here. And so we're going to go into the Telegram. We're going to see what's going on here anyway. So we're going to verify, and there's our link. We got just over 560 members in the group. So no rating going on. The last buy was at 104. That's a couple of minutes ago. And so yeah, there's a lot of memes. I don't prefer to see just a ton of memes because, again, that's not real engagement. You know, my personal opinion. We got something going on here in regards to the X channel. Let's see here. Community here is taking over the project. You know, this might not even be, well, maybe it is. So somebody's been transferred ownership of the TG. Okay, the CTO team are in place now. So, I mean, it is a CTO, you know, but again, I've mentioned before, some CTOs do okay, a lot of them don't, you know, so, but there's no engagement. So you got no rating, there's no trending, you got no boost. So to me, looking at all of those things combined, I don't see how this one is going to continue to move. Now, the chart doesn't look terrible. It could be a start of an uptrend, you know, but I am more inclined to believe this is probably going to head downwards, especially if they bring in no catalyst to go ahead and move this any further. We'll still set an alert just out of sheer curiosity. So this is at 83. So here's the market cap. We're going to go ahead and post that found market cap unit here in the notes. And so going over, let's go ahead and let's set it at 95. Not sure if it'll trigger there, but we'll see. And then for the under, we're at 83 now. We're going to go ahead and set this. Actually, I think I'm going to set it at 65K. Okay, so there we go. So with that being said, I think that's going to do it in regards to discovery today and, you know, for the video. And as I mentioned before in the start of this video, that if you are somebody that's continuing to watch the series and you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. That way you can be made aware, you know, of when new content is released, and also have the benefits, you know, of being aware of whenever I broadcast anything to the channel. Okay, so with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Stay safe out there, stay warm, and I'll see you on the next video.